Good morning, E3, and welcome to the 2021-2022 school year. For those of you who have been with us for some years, this is the first time that we are going to, well, actually, it's not, but you remember our live E3-way assemblies in the auditorium. We're going to go virtual for just a little while, and then hopefully we'll come back. So, Kayla, are you on?
Hi, yes, I'm on.
All right, Kayla, let's start us out in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Hi, everyone. So put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kayla Gonzalez. And as you all can see there, Kayla is our 2021-2022 ASB president, and she and other members of ASB have been working hard over the last several weeks to prepare this school year for each of you. She'll share a little bit more later when she shares some of the ASB members with us. Our anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, and the home of the brave.
Mission is to engage, educate, and empower our 3 E's, our learning community, to be caring, passionate, lifelong learners and civic leaders prepared for college, for workforce, and life. And what does that mean in terms of our vision? We aspire that you will be college, workforce, and life ready. That means that every scholar has a viable path and a career leading to a job that allows you to take care of yourselves, your families, and to give back. Give back to your communities and to give back to E3. And so during your time here, the most important thing that you do is to identify that viable path and career so that you can give back and that you can also, first and foremost, take care of yourselves and your families. And what's our theme this year? Our theme is Make Every Day Count. And why? Many of us have lost loved ones this last year. We've lost parents, we've lost relatives, we've lost friends to COVID and other things. Me, myself, also lost my mom. And so what would they want us to do? They would want us to strive to be our best every day, to make a positive difference in the world. And so this year, that is going to be our theme, Make Every Day Count. Make every day count. Make it count for ourselves and for those that have gone before us. Our graduate profiles for our freshmen, some of you have seen the graduate profiles and understand them. Those of you who missed Summer Bridge, this is your first time with the graduate profiles. We have 5 of them. So when you graduate, you should possess these profiles. Civically engaged, you understand what it means to be civically engaged, to exercise your greatest right as an American, which is to vote. And so every opportunity you have to vote, you need to make your voice heard, have your voice heard by voting. Here at E3, we also hear from our political leaders. You will be hearing from some of them this year. Our state attorney general will be visiting us, Dr. Shirley Weber. We'll also have some of the local politicians visiting us. We will understand their platforms, hear about their platforms, and being civically engaged means that you support those whose platforms represent you. And if you can't find anybody out there whose platform, whose policies represent you, then you run for office yourself. That is what it means to be civically engaged. Literacy communicator, you can speak and communicate orally, in writing, through presentations, and using social media. Creative and innovative. We spend a lot of time in this area because it is what separates the kids from the adults, so to speak, when it comes to getting that job. So employers are looking for individuals who are creative, who are innovative, who take initiative. And so we will spend a lot of time there, particularly through the design thinking process. And many of you don't understand DT, especially when you come in, but it is really geared to help you to become a great thinker and to provide you with 5 phases of moving from a place where you don't understand how you might solve a problem through empathy, creativity, innovation, to a product at the end. So a lot of time will be spent on design thinking. And as you become seniors, you'll be working on your capstone project with Miss Woods. 9th and 10th grade, you will be under the leadership of Mr. Chiruti, and 11th and 12th under Miss Woods. Career competitive. All right, if we are a literacy communicator, if we are creative and innovative, then we will be career competitive. And so that's the other goal, right? That viable path and viable career leading to a pathway that allows you to take care of yourselves, your families, and to give back to your communities and to E3. So career competitive. And we're going to talk more about some of the things that will happen in the afternoon to help you to be career competitive. Globally engaged, it's a small world. Whatever happens 6,000 miles away from here affects what happens here in the United States. It affects us in the stock market. It affects us in terms of our health, right? And so when things pop off in other parts of the world in terms of health crises, you know, it trickles around the world. So we need to be globally engaged. We need to understand our neighbors. We need to respect our neighbors, and we need to know how to work together, globally engaged. Okay, today for our E3 Way Assembly, we've had our anthem, our mission, vision, graduate profiles. We're going to talk a little bit about safety protocols with Dean Bowden. He's going to lead us there. Attire, Dean Bowden. Attendance, Dean Bowden. And then Mr. Smith is going to speak with us a little bit about mental health. We'll hear again from Dean Bowden on the purpose of the E3 Way lessons. We'll hear from Kayla again. She'll share a little bit about ASB. I'll go into reimagining. And then we'll talk about building wealth and technology with Dr. Zhu. And then we'll close up with our alumni speakers. Also, we'll hear from Dean Portillo with a little bit about the schedule for the year. Safety protocols, Dean Bowden.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to E3, our 2021-22 school year, and in person. Talk about globally engaged. We are still in a pandemic. What does pan mean? That means global. But we are also in school. So what we do to ensure our safety impacts those globally. So while we're on campus, we need to make sure that we're following all guidance. Dr. Ward, could you advance one slide? Thank you. What does this mean? It means always wearing your mask. You see, I have my mask off now. It's because I'm in a room by myself. Anytime you're near anyone, your mask has to be on. Anytime you're on campus, your mask has to be on. If you choose not to wear a mask, or we have to repeatedly tell you to wear the mask, we will come up with alternative solutions so that you can still attend school, but you won't be with others. Hygiene, it's the most basic thing, but it's the most important thing. Be washing your hands. Use the sanitizer that's on the desk. Use the wipes that are on your desk to wipe them down at the end of each class. As you know, when you arrive to school, you do the daily health screening in Parent Square prior to getting here. If you answer yes to any one of those, stay home. We want to keep this place safe. If when you do arrive, we also do temperature checks. None of this is required right now, but as E3, we want to make sure we're taking care of each other. We also do, as some of you had this morning, the daily COVID testing. We'll have antigen and PCR testing every day here at E3 to make sure that we're monitoring the situation as closely as we can. As you know, there's green signs all over the campus. These are green arrows that tell you which direction you should be walking. We all must adhere to those directional signs. That reduces the amount of time that we cross paths with each other and potentially spread COVID. So please follow the directional signs all through campus. You go up the center staircase, you go down the northwest staircase, the main staircase for one flight of stairs. In the restrooms, we have touchless water faucets now. That's a big update. Another big update is the drinking water dispensers that we have. The water is absolutely amazing. I mentioned before the hand sanitizer and wipes. And then again, our cleaning staff, Mr. Flores, Lupe, are doing a phenomenal job maintaining the facility and making it safe for everybody to come to every day. We ask for your help as well, that at the end of every class, you're wiping down your tables. The last thing, we even got new machines to help keep this place clean, the electrostatic cleaning machine. So we're doing all that we can to ensure that we can enjoy instruction in person all year long. Attire. So we've made just a couple minor changes this year. When you can now wear a navy blue polo, and you can also wear navy blue bottoms. On Tuesdays, we have, you wear an E3 collared shirt. You need to wear the Oxford, long sleeve Oxford shirt on Tuesdays. Also on Tuesdays, you must wear an outer layer, not the sweatshirt, but you must wear an E3 outer layer, which is the vest, the cardigan, or the windbreaker. Thursdays, you can wear a college or class or club shirt or a military branch shirt, but you still need to wear professional attire bottoms. And what are those bottoms? Those are khaki or navy blue pants. You can also wear navy blue skirts, or the green and navy blue plaid skirt. Ties every Tuesday, but if you want to wear them every day, feel free to do so. We have ties back in stock. So if you weren't able to order a tie, they are available again for pickup. The hats that you can wear on campus are our E3 beanies or religious attire, religious headwear. Any questions with attire throughout the year, please let me know. We'll do our best to give you the proper guidance so you look your best. Anytime we go off campus on a field trip or job shadow, we should be in full professional attire as well, looking like the excellence that you are. All right, attendance. So right here is this enormous mansion. It's got a helicopter on top. I believe every one of you can achieve this. We all believe that. And that is why we are here as educators, because we want you to achieve that. Next slide, please, Doc. How do we go about doing that? Well, we attend class regularly. We make every minute count that we are on campus or at home and studying. If you're engaged with your schoolwork, success will follow. If you're not engaged with schoolwork and your attendance is lacking, we will do everything we can to learn what those obstacles are that are preventing you from engaging to make sure that you are attending school regularly. Now that we're back on campus, all laws regarding truancy and chronic absenteeism are in place. I hope we can avoid getting into those things. So we'll be reaching out and communicating with you and your families anytime we notice a change in your attendance patterns. Also, if you're feeling sick and you can't come to school, or you've been placed into quarantine for whatever reason, a close contact, you can go on a short-term independent study contract. You can sign up for that just by notifying our attendance clerk the day of, has to be in the morning, or anytime if you're traveling or something like that, anytime beforehand. So please communicate with our attendance clerk regarding the short-term independent study contracts. Those of you on campus, please keep coming to campus. We're going to do our best to make sure that it is a great place to be.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Dean Bowden. And now we'll hear from Mr. Smith on mental health.
So I'm so happy to see everybody here. It's just a joy to see everybody back on campus. That brings me great joy, but I know sometimes coming back to different environments, it may cause like some emotional changes within what we've been feeling. So I just want to make sure everybody's aware of what it is when we talk about mental health. Mental health is more about just how you're feeling, what things that you're going through. I've added on the right some tips that you can engage in to reduce some of the stress that you'll have. One of the most important things Mr. Bowden will always be re-emphasizing to you guys is getting a good night's sleep. That is probably the easiest thing that you can do. I know the temptation to stay up late and play games or to connect with your friends through social media, it's important, but your sleep is probably one of the most important things that you want to do. What's not listed on here to reduce stress is eating healthy foods. So that's super important for you to do. Focus in on your strengths, those things that you can do well. Do those things that make you happy. And the other thing that you can always do that helps reduce that stress is engaging in physical activity. When you engage in physical activity, going for a walk, a run with a friend, it reduces that cortisol, that stress hormone that's in our bodies that's caused throughout the day. So this is another quick way. The last thing that I want to talk to you about is what to do if you're feeling overwhelmed. Talk to someone. There's a website link there, but you have me if you need to talk about how you're feeling emotionally, if it's not going so well. Ms. Strenning and Ms. Rojas, the academic counselors, are here to help as well. And any adult here on the site, any adult that you can trust them to share with you things that are going to be helpful for you. And if it gets to be too much, do one thing. Do not suffer alone. This school is built on community. We kind of look at it as a family. We talk about taking care of you, taking care of each other, and taking care of E3. We are a family. So we just want you to always know there's someone here to help. And with that, just let you guys know, I'm so grateful that you guys are here. And I look forward to meeting and engaging with you a bit more through this year.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. And I just do want to piggyback and say drugs do not make you happy. Drugs take you out of your mind. There are no drugs that make you happy. And so when we talk about being happy, we're talking about natural happiness that comes through these other things. Singing, some people love to sing, and singing makes them happy. Crocheting makes them happy. Roller skating makes them happy. So find the natural things that make you happy. And I will say again, the drugs can never make you happy. It is brain altering. So it cannot make you happy. I don't care what kind of drug it is. It cannot make you happy. All right. Thank you, Mr. Smith. On to the E3 Way lessons. Back to Dean Bowden.
Yes, as you all know, we are doing E3 Way lessons for the next 3 days. And why? Why does a school put aside starting in academic content for the first 3 days of school? Because E3 Way lessons are the very essence of who we are. We utilize these lessons to build upon our inclusive and welcoming culture, develop a strong sense of belonging for all of our scholars and staff, demonstrate our belief in you as the great individuals you are, and more importantly, will become. And also to make sure that we not only know your name, but we truly know who you are. Why do we do this? It's unique. It's because we are E3.
Thank you. Okay, and on to Kayla, our ASB president.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. So as you all know, I'm Kayla. I am your ASB president. Basically, I'm in charge of all ASB-related activities and running meetings. We also have Anissa Ugalde, our vice president. She is my right-hand person, and she's helping me throughout the entire year, making sure all of our activities are fun. We also have Kyra Galloway, our Commissioner of Activities. She is in charge of all the activities we will be holding throughout the year and forming committees to plan them. Next, we have Evelyn Turner Montgomery. She is our Commissioner of Publicity. She's in charge of making posters, making sure everyone knows about days such as Spirit Week and other fun activities we have planned. We also have Layla, our Senior Class Representative. Most of our class representatives are here to help us and ASB plan out stuff during our committees, between committees and activities. But Layla here is also our senior class role model. She's also going to plan prom and all other senior activities. Next, we have Raina Dorsey, our junior class representative. She represents the class of 2023. Next, we have Gabby Townsend, our treasurer. She is in charge of all ASB finances. And then we have Shania, our sophomore class representative. And she also is a helping hand in ASB and voices out all sophomore opinions.
All right.
And then I think lastly, we have Greg Maddox. He's our commissioner of academics. He goes into meetings with the board and he tells us as ASB what students should want and expect from their education. Carissa Mack is our secretary. She records everything that happens in ASB meetings. And we have Jose Morales, who is our historian, who will be in charge of taking pictures and recording everything that happens throughout the year.
Okay. Thank you, Kayla. Sounds like lots happening and a great team that you have. Okay. Thank you. You want to share any of the major activities this year that are coming up?
Yes, so as we all know, this week is Spirit Week. Today is Wednesday and it's Merch Day, so I'm happy to see everyone in their merch and representing. Tomorrow is Twin Iconic Duo and Twin Day, so be sure to collaborate with any friends that you have and you've met throughout this week or during summer bridge. And on Friday, it's Decades Day, so represent a past decade in any attire that you'd like.
Okay. Anything about coming up in the year that we should be aware of?
Yes, thank you for reminding me. We are expected to hold a winter formal. We haven't had a winter formal in a couple years, and that is something super exciting. We're also expecting to hold several dodgeball tournaments, and we would expect to collaborate with many other clubs, cultural clubs, and many other Spirit Weeks coming up as well. So please be on the lookout on the E3 Instagram and the E3 Scholars Instagram.
All right. Thank you, Kayla. On to Dean Portillo on the 2021-2022 calendar.
Good morning, and scholars. We are excited to see you all here. We're looking forward to another year with you and your family. As you can see on the screen, these are very important dates for school-wide events. And please note that these dates are subject to change. If you need to look at them, because obviously there's so many, please know that you can find them on our E3 website. But I just want to quickly highlight a couple of them. Kayla did mention some of them, but obviously today we start our first day of school, so August 25th. From there, we kick off with a couple of events that are really important. So coming up, we have the week of August 31st through September 3rd. We have school-wide assessments. So please be ready. Just mentally prepare yourself. Make sure you have a healthy breakfast. And then September 6th, we have Labor Day, which means no classes. Moving into September 17th, very important, we have Picture Day. And we're also going to celebrate Semester 2 Awards Assembly. After that, another important date is October 1st, which is our first Griffin Day, which means no classes. Really exciting. And then November 11th, we have another Veterans Day, no classes. In between, you have College Tour Day, you have Spirit Weeks, which Kayla mentioned. You have an awesome career speaker series coming up. And then we hit November 22nd through the 26th, which is the fall break. After there, we have a couple of other activities. As Kayla mentioned, we have the ASB Winter Spirit Week, we have report cards, and then we hit December 20th through January 2nd, which is winter break. So as you can see, the first semester goes pretty quickly, ending January 28th. As we launch second semester, we do have our job shadow days. We have college workshops. We have a talent show, some dodgeball tournaments. And then if you look, you have spring break coming up as well, which is March 28th through April 8th. And then we end the school year, end of semester, June 28th. So just make sure that you are paying attention to those. I'm sorry, it's June 17th, last day of school. And so just make sure you come back to save the date, looking at kind of the dates that are happening. We also have Saturday Academy and Parent Collaborative dates. And we also have Robotics Saturday class dates, which you can see on the right-hand side of the screen. If you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out. But other than that, be ready for an awesome school year.
Thank you, Dean Portillo. And We do have Saturday Academy, and we hope to see as many of you there as can make it. And so that's an opportunity to catch up on our courses. Also, if we have AP courses, to meet with our class members, our peers, and study together. And as Dean Bowden mentioned, we are super excited about our Griffin Day. We are the Griffins for our 9th and 10th graders, and you will see Griffins around campus so that you know what a Griffin is. And also on the back of your class shirts, we have the Griffin wings. Okay, we're on to reimagining education. So first of all, I want to thank those of you who were involved with reimagining last year. We spent 30 hours from February through June reimagining what education would look like for E3. Why did we do this? Because we have just been through a pandemic. We're actually still in the pandemic. But what we knew for sure here at E3 is that we don't go back to the way things were. We keep moving. And that's why you'll also hear from Dr. Zhu today, because we believe in innovation. We believe in being ready for the future. So we are always analyzing, assessing where we are and what that means to us in terms of where we need to be. And we gauge everything by the year 2030 right now, 2030, and the Organization for Economic Development, because there are a set of skill sets and career jobs that we know will happen in 2030. And so that's what we look forward to, because that's where you're headed. You're not headed to 2010 or 1999. So we look forward to the future. That means that at E3, the staff, sometimes we get a little tired because we're looking ahead. We're not doing things like normal schools where, you know, just come for the day and go home. We've got a lot happening at E3, and some of that now will be happening with our reimagining education. So in the mornings, you'll have shorter classes. They'll each be 60 minutes. Your core classes will be 60 minutes. And if you were here last year for our 10th, 11th, and 12th graders, we won't have the AB days. So you won't have 11 courses that you may have had last year with the AB days. So now we're going to have just A days, or quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, and you'll have the same classes for quarter 1. So every day, your mod 1 will be your mod 1 for the entire quarter, Monday through Thursday, not Friday. I'll talk about that in a minute. But shorter classes, more voice and choice. I'm going to show you some of those opportunities that you have. And you'll also have more opportunities to develop your viable path and career. Remember, high school is really not just having fun, not just learning those skill sets that prepare you for your to be competitive in your career path, but also figuring out what your career path will be. What's your passion? So when you pick that career path, it has to be something that you're passionate about. When I come here every day, I come and I have fun. And when you go to work later, you got to have fun. So we're going to be talking about, you're going to be studying the different career paths that make you happy. All right. And then opportunities for civic service, more opportunities just to have fun, more opportunities to prepare for the future, opportunities to even graduate early, opportunities to join clubs, and finish homework before you leave campus. Many of you are working, and remember, to continue to work, you have to have a work permit. And so if your grades drop below that 2.0, or if you have IPs at the end of a quarter, then your work permit is in jeopardy. So you want to make sure that you're passing all your classes so that we do not have to pull work permits. We want those of you who are working to keep working, and we even want others of you to work. And so we'll talk about the afternoon, so that if you're at school in the afternoons, you also have time to finish your homework before you leave campus, at least most of your homework, maybe not all of it. Okay, so what does that daily schedule look like? Mod 1 is 8:30 to 9:30. Today it's 8:30 to 10:30. We'll try to keep it pushing here to get us out on time. And then we have our Mod 2, 9:33, 10:33. You see each class is an hour. Mod 3 is actually 70 minutes because that's where we have our nutrition break at the beginning of Mod 3. Unless you have seniors in your class, then you'll have your nutrition break at the end. Seniors and freshmen will have the first lunch. This year we have 2 lunch periods. Seniors and freshmen have that first lunch period, 11:49 to 12:49. 11:49 to 12:49, they go to lunch. And then they go to Mod 5. They go to Mod 5. Our 10th and 11th graders, they'll go from Mod 3 to Mod 4, and then they have lunch starting at 12. It's not here. You actually start lunch at 12:52 or 12:50, and that goes to 1:22. All right. And then our other kiddos are in Mod 5 during that time. At 1:22, we're done with all of our regular content mods. Our seniors will be leaving campus at the beginning of October to go off to their internships after their lunch mod. They'll be leaving campus on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The other 2 days, they'll be here for their design thinking work. But in the afternoon, advisory has been moved to the afternoon. And during those afternoons, on Monday, we'll be looking at college and career. Tuesday, team building, looking at your data, making sure that you're keeping up with your assessments, your goals, and your progress monitoring on Tuesdays. And also on Tuesdays, you'll be doing civic service work. You might be going out to do some cleanup in the community, to visit different offices in the community during your advisory time on Tuesday. And it may spill over a little bit into the rest of the afternoon. But Tuesdays are the days when we're out in the community, when we're doing our team building, things like that. Wednesdays, we call it Wellness Wednesdays. That's when we're working on EduGuide. 9th graders, you'll learn about that, our mental health, our mental wellness. And we'll also be having our advisory check-ins with Dr. Zhu and I on Wednesdays, where we'll get more on innovation and wealth building. Those will be Wednesday advisories. And Thursdays, we're on to improving our reading skills. The seniors will not be here on Tuesdays and Thursdays starting the end of September because you are out to your internships. Okay, after that, we have office hours. For those of you who need office hours, you may also be invited to office hours if you are behind in your classes. You may be invited to office hours. If you're invited, then you must attend. If you don't have to go to office hours, then you go right down here to the Scholar Voice and Choice. That means you might be taking college courses. You can sign up for college courses now, and if they're online, perfect, because you can work on those college classes right here at E3 in the afternoon. That's called concurrent enrollment. So check that out. Juniors and seniors. Sorry, sophomore and freshmen, not yet for you guys. Science labs, we'll have some extended science labs in the afternoon. Also, 1 day a week, I believe it's a Monday, we'll have AP study hall. And so that means that if you're in an AP class, you'll have additional time to meet with your peers and your LF to do some deep dive in your AP studying. It is not for additional class time, it's actually for studying. Okay, during that time, we'll also have clubs. Club Rush is coming early next month. ASB will be putting that on and getting information out to you about Club Rush. And so you can sign up for various clubs. Clubs will be meeting in the afternoon from 2:50 to 3:50. If you're taking college courses and you don't have to do any office hours, you can start your college course study time at 2:15. So if you're not in office hours, the things that I'm talking about here actually bump up to the 2:15 time. You can have clubs, again, Coursera certifications. Last year, we had several kiddos do special certifications. You could do data metrics. You could go do office management. You could do office supervisor, all sorts of certification programs. Google certification, Microsoft certification. These are more on the techie side. Study hall times. If you're working and you want to get your homework done before you leave, you've got study hall. There's tutoring, DT meeting time and collaboration. Independent reading. If you just love to read, we'll have cubbies around here where you could just read. Rehearsals, and Mr. Goodwin will have several plays this year, performances, and he'll have rehearsal times during this time as well. College and career workshops will be happening in the afternoon, as well as guest speakers on various career opportunities, financial wealth, etc. So lots happening in the afternoon. And we're going to start that at the end of September. Between now and then, we're going to learn how to make this work, how to make it work. And so how this works and why. How it works is scholars making good decisions, because you're going to have lots of freedom. And so that requires you to make good decisions. Scholars learning how to calendar events and manage your time. So we'll be spending time, Mr. Chiruti will be spending time with us on calendaring, how to use our calendars well. Scholars planning out their schedules, again, with the calendar. Scholars following through on their plans. It's up to you to follow through on your plan. So this opportunity, this time gives you an opportunity to have self-discipline, to learn those skill sets, time management, to learn those skill sets, which are important for your career. All right, so following through on your plans. Scholars demonstrating self-efficacy and advocacy, advocating for yourself. That comes by really spending time studying your career pathways, etc., and then advocating for things that help you to get there and ensure that you are ready for college, career, and life. All of this is about ensuring that you are ready for college, career, and life. Okay, with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Zhu, and you'll hear more about what we've just talked about in your advisory studios. We're going to start picking up on that the week after next. This week, we have E3-way lessons during advisory. Next week, we have assessments during advisory. And then the week after that, we get rolling with preparing to release you to the Voice and Choice E3 e-block in the afternoon. Okay, Dr. Zhu, what's new in the world?
Hello, good morning, everyone. So nice to see so many returning scholars, as well as welcoming the incoming ninth grade cohort. Throughout the year, as Dr. Ward mentioned, I'll be sharing my insights on innovation and technology, as well as investment. I have been involved with this aspect of life for many years, actually since I was a student in China. So the world is extremely exciting to me and also to many of you once you discover it. So we have to open up our mind, things not just happening at E3 in your backyard, but at large, as Dr. Ward pointed out, we really need to understand what's going on. So every time I would like to bring something kind of exciting to me that happened in the last couple of weeks.
We lost you, Dr. Zhu.
Or if you can play the video, I think I lost my internet for a second in my office. So this is 1 minute video just released recently. As some of you noticed, this is from Boston Dynamics. In the past, if you remember, I showed the previous version of their humanoid robotics. But at the time, even a few months back, was not as complicated as what we just saw. In the past, I also showed you the Boston Dynamics robot dog robots, if you remember. So you can see just a few months past how much the technology has advanced using this particular case. So let's move on to the next slides. Also last week, just last Thursday, next,
Sorry.
it's okay. Last Thursday, it's like within a week, Tesla had the AI Day, and the first time in the history for the company. Initial Tesla's mission really is for the renewable transportation. Then they updated their mission and vision a few years later as renewable energy company. Now the company is positioning itself as the future AI and robotic company. So that's a huge difference. We're talking about the E3's mission and vision all the time, and some companies are updating their mission and vision as the technology advance. So in the AI Day events was really eye-opening. So it was so technical. I watched the whole presentation for more than 2 hours. At the times, a lot of technical stuff I really couldn't understand, but I was extremely clear that they're advancing their HydroNet for the autonomous driving. So they're actually using AI to design the simulation. So they're not like Waymo to use the maps, pre-designed maps to solve the autonomous driving. They're actually using the neural net, kind of like Tesla is thinking a car is like an animal. Animal has its body, but animal has its brain. It's like a dog, a cat running on the road, and it can respond to the things happening around it. So that's different from the traditional vehicle, as we all understand. And number two, they're talking about their Dojo supercomputer. So I had the picture of the chips on the left-hand side. You can see, even when we look at the supercomputer chips, their design is so advanced and so complicated. I'm not gonna get into technique, but so for some of you sitting out there, if you're interested, Google Tesla Dojo supercomputer chips, you will be blown away the computing ability at this stage. And lastly, they obviously revealed the Tesla bot, which surprised a lot of people, including investors. So I remember in 2010, I don't know whether you remember as scholars, Apple revealed the iPad at the time in April. I remember clearly. At the time, not a lot of us understand the implication of iPad at the time. But that was April 2010. So last Thursday, Tesla revealed they're starting to design the Tesla bot. So I had a picture here. You can see the bot is a humanoid robot as well. It's 5'8" tall, 125 pounds. It's very interesting to me. If we compare Tesla bot with previously saw Boston Dynamic robot, did you notice the difference? I noticed a big difference. The Boston Dynamic robot is almost like a little bit scary. It's like a soldier style. Did you notice that? But if you look at Tesla bot, it's different. It's more like soft. So they're designed for different purpose. Boston Dynamics, they have the prototype, but so far they're really in the research area. They have not found the user application. You get what I'm saying? But if we look at the Boston Dynamic dog robot, actually you could buy it if you want to, but it's gonna cost you $75,000 for the dog robot. But what can you do with it? Unless you have a lot of money to throw around, you can have a dog robot following you around, right? But when we look at Tesla's design, it's different. So their mission of the Tesla bot is really to become household robot to assist us for healthcare, for like elderly. I'm just use a few user applications. Also, once the autonomous driving is achieved, okay, let's say a car can drive itself, parking in front of your house, then still need the last step operation. Someone or some robot needs to carry the package from the car to your doorstep. Does it make sense? So if Tesla bot is in operation in the future, years down the road, it's not going to be tomorrow. So those are just some typical application for the robot. So you get my idea. My point is, by looking at these two examples, technology is advancing at a very fast pace. Sometimes we don't realize it, but it's actually happening. When we look back of Apple, look back at Google, because we're living within the change, we don't notice, but it's gonna change all of our life drastically. Last time when we talking about the redesigning the education for you all as scholars, we even mentioned the post-work time. So means actually a lot of labor work can be taken care of by the robots. But Tesla, by revealing its new mission and design, really kind of push us in that thinking one step closer. Let's move on to the next slides. Throughout the year, I'm going to bring in different pieces. So here on the screen, there are some big trends in technology. Some you're familiar with, some you're not. E-commerce, where do you shop? You know, Amazon, Shopify, C is actually Southeast Asia platform, SEA. It's a phenomenal company as well for e-commerce. Then, of course, it's cloud computing. We're using it on a daily basis, but we don't realize it. But when we are using Google, use this technology, they're all involved with cloud computing. Also, autonomous driving, we mentioned streaming videos. Roku is a company. We're using Disney Plus. You know, no one is watching the traditional TV at the set time because our living style have drastically changed. So now we're not even recording anymore. It's by demand, by streaming. Also, the artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and metaverse. So I put the NVIDIA there, which is a chip making company. In order to advance in that area, the chip capacity for computing has been improving steadily. So by looking at the numbers. Also, another area I don't really understand too much, which is precision medicine, is genomics, sequencing. A lot of companies are working in that area. I didn't even put a company there because that's not some area. I mean, I kind of know the trend, but I have not been investing in that area. But it's also eye-catching too. In the future, based on our own individual DNA and family history, so they can actually prescribe specific medicine for us. Let's see, now we have the same vaccine. In the future, let's see 2 decades down the road, hypothetically, we might have the same vaccine developed by the same company, but by different dose. Now we all have the same dose, right? By different dose, even by a little bit different design based on our own DNA, but that's coming down the pipe. Also, what we are noticing in the society is the digital banking and the payment. Actually, some other countries, for example, China, are leading the United States in this area. No one is using cash anymore. It's all about digital banking and the payment and the global transition. Of course, if you're paying any attention to the cryptocurrency, so it's a decentralized financing. The whole cryptocurrency market is very volatile, which we understand. Why is so volatile? Because it's at its beginning stage of the development of technologies. That's when we typically see the trend, because people try to figure out, sometimes it's over push the price, sometimes back down. So that's very typical. But the truth is, I personally believe cryptocurrency technology is going to stay and it's going to be developed, and also it will be regulated, which is a good thing because then people actually can use it on a large scale. And lastly, plant-based meat like Beyond Meat, we all see different options when we go to certain restaurants. So those to me are like continuously developed technology trends in our era. So I'm going to continue to monitor them, and it's very exciting. Dr. Ward, if you can click on the link I showed in the past, this is the live, basically graph of this is live. This is what's happening now in the stock market based on those companies. If we're looking at this, what are the 5 largest companies? Obviously by the area, right? Mathematically speaking, the biggest one is Apple right here. So Apple actually, as of today, is at $2.46 trillion cap. Then the second largest one is Microsoft, right above. Then the third one is Google, left. So Google is at 1.9 trillion today. Then the next one is what we see here, Amazon, right? Amazon. Then the following last one of the 5 is Facebook right here. Also, if you look a little bit right, Tesla, as of today, is 700 billion company. But 5 years, 10 years down the road, that could change the cap based on the technology. But why this is important? Because when I look at these 5 largest company or a lot of innovative company on this board, it shows me clearly these companies are knowledge-based company. So you need to have specific knowledge and skill to be part of the company, to understand the company, to develop the next generation innovative product for us. So if I were you, if I'm still at your age, I'm not even kidding. So I attend high school in China, Chinese schools. But if I'm your age, from somewhere from 14 to 18, I would ask myself, do I want to work in one of these companies in the future, down the road? Maybe 8 years or maybe 10 years. And if I want to work in one of these great companies in the world, what do I need to do? So when we look at the 5 graduate profile, when we look at our modified Bell schedule, you need to understand we are providing more opportunities for you to be able to create a different future. So that's very clear. Let's move on to the last slide for me. If we are back, so throughout the year, we're coming back. So by looking at these big technology trends, it's clear to me we're moving towards a more digitalized world with digital economy. So as earlier Dr. Warren mentioned, okay, on Saturdays, sometimes we have a robotics clubs. Let's see if Scholar A attends robotic club, does he or she have a better chance to work well in the digital world with digital economy? My answer is clear, yes. Because he or she will be exposed more to the digital world with the software engineering mindset. Very important, right? But also, as I showed you, the 5 largest company in the world, knowledge is power, because those are knowledge-based company. And also, how do we get the knowledge and skills? Education brings you the opportunities. Here at E3, we're working very hard to reimagine the whole structure of education practices at E3 to help you get on your path. Lastly, I really want to point out is we are living in the United States. In summer, I was traveling to Thailand. Okay, I was talking with a local nurse. He earned $650 US as a salary as a registered nurse in Thailand. But here, if we look at the registered nurse salary in the United States, it's close to an average 90,000. So, I mean, yearly. But you get my point. The difference is sometimes we forget we are living in the United States. We still have a lot of opportunities comparing with most of the countries, if you look at the data. And we have a lot of opportunities, not only in the United States right here, but also we have a lot of opportunities here, right here at E3. And we are all make ourselves available. For example, I'm supervising during the lunch in the park at the podium. If you are interested in talking with me about technology, about resources, about investment, you're always welcome to approach me during lunch. If you happen to have lunch on the 7th floor, just make an appointment with me and coming down to meet me there. The whole point is we're working as a team to help you to be the best of you. And I'll leave you there and I'll see you around on campus and online. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Xu. Thank you. And scholars, I'm just going to take a minute for you to soak in what he just said. So it's a 60 seconds, 30 seconds of quiet time. Think about what you just heard from Dr. Xu. How are you going to use this information to improve yourself, to get you on that viable path and viable career? Are you going to use the wonderful opportunities that E3 provides you with? Okay, again, I want to tell you that E3 is not your normal high school. We are not preparing you just to take the high school tests. We're preparing you for that Bible pathway and Bible career. That Bible pathway and career that allows you to be career competitive and to prepare you for 2030 and beyond. You will have many opportunities. It's going to be up to you to take advantage of them. Thank you again, Dr. Zhu. And now with that, we're going to welcome back some of our alumni. We have alumni working with us. You'll see them throughout the year. You'll see them more for the next few weeks before they start school. They go back to UCSD. All 4 of them that are here with us now, they are our E3 alumni, and they'll introduce themselves and share a little bit about them. We're going to be running just a tad bit behind, so your Mod 2 is going to be cut short just a little, your Mod 3, just a little bit today. Okay, Albert, share a little bit, please.
Hello, my name is Albert Henderson. I graduated last year, or I think 2 years ago, I don't know, class of 2020. I am currently a student at UCSD, majoring in data science, and I'm going into my second year.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah. So I think some things that helped me prepare to get into UCSD was definitely taking some AP classes and definitely researching what schools I wanted to go to, so I knew what kind of standard I had to meet. And yeah, I think those are the biggest things that helped me prepare for college and get ready to go to UCSD. And I think a piece of advice that I would give was definitely do what I did. Look at the colleges that you want to go to, know early so you know what kind of standards you at least need to meet to even stand a chance applying.
All right. Thank you, Albert. John.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mr. Pangilinan. I'm currently a 3rd year at UC San Diego, majoring in education sciences. I graduated from E3 2 years ago in 2019. And if there's one thing that prepared me for college and life so far, it's networking. A lot of people I talked to while I was here are people that I still talk to, namely our counselors, Ms. Redding, Ms. Rojas. They really helped me throughout the college application process, and they actually even helped me get this job here tutoring. So if you need any help with math throughout the year, just ask for Mr. Pangilinan. And as a word of advice from me, don't be shy to ask for help. Take full advantage of the new schedule, especially in the afternoon, to knock out any future assignments and get ahead. You have a really huge and wonderful team that's here to help you out and become the best you can be.
Thank you. All right. Omar Aquino. Omar.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to E3. I graduated back in 2018, so it's been a while. I'm currently studying at UCSD, and I'm pursuing a degree in astrophysics. It's a little bit complicated, and it's physics on steroids, basically. And I'm about to graduate this year. I'm a senior at UCSD, so I'm pretty happy about that. Really looking forward to it. And one thing that really helped me out in college and in life is keeping up with deadlines. That's a really important skill to have. You always want to make sure you're on time with everything, turning everything in on time, and just being mindful of deadlines. And if I had to give you one piece of advice, it would be to start keeping track of deadlines from now on. It's really important. Thank you.
Thank you, Omar. All right. Lexi Lombard. Lexi.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Lexi Lombard. I am currently a 4th year at UC San Diego for international business. I graduated here, class of 2018. I would agree, it's been a little while. And I would say one of my biggest pieces of advice is to not let mistakes be your downfall. Everybody makes mistakes. It happens. They're lessons. They're not mistakes. You know, you sometimes think it's the end of the world or that you can't get back up. But in my opinion, when you grow and learn from your mistakes and move on, it's stronger than not having made any mistakes at all. Because they really are life lessons. Sometimes they happen to teach you about what you need to know and where you need to go. And also, you have a lot of people around here who care about you, a lot of learning facilitators and staff members, and always feel free to go to them if you need advice or help with anything. Also, feel free to talk to me if you need any college advice or help with English or Mandarin.
All right. Thank you, Lexi. So I'll just do a quick summary. And Lexi talked about taking risk. And if you fail, if you think you're failing, you're not, as long as you're learning from it. And we all make mistakes. So those mistakes, we need to turn them into lessons and not be afraid to make them. Omar really hit on those deadlines, understanding your deadlines, making sure that you are planned out so that you can meet your deadlines, and of course, meeting those deadlines. John really focused on networking, and so that's an important component to make sure that we take opportunities as you're in your internship courses, as we meet with our career speakers, when you meet with each other, network, and expand your network so that as you move on in life, you'll have individuals that you can tap, that you can get in touch with to help you continue. And then Albert really shared about preparing for college, understanding what you want to do, that viable path, that viable career, and then spending time on the viable path, right? So understanding where you want to go and then researching those colleges that will get you there, and then doing what you need to do so that you qualify, you meet the criteria to enter those colleges. And then he talked a little bit about those AP courses. So thank you so much to our alumni. We love you. We thank you for everything that you do for us. You are truly amazing. You are the future. And so scholars, they'll be around campus, like I said, for this next month a lot. And then on the 18th or so, they start heading back to UCSD. And so you'll see them less often, but they'll still be on campus at least a couple days a week. All right. So welcome to the 2021-2022 school year. For our families and other loved ones that we've lost, and for ourselves and our future, let's make every day count. And with that, take care of you, take care of each other, take care of E3. Have a great day and have a great year.